Alpha Females. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Katie Freeman. Today's guest is Madison Hollimon, the owner and founder of Mad Marketing House, a marketing firm that specializes in authentic content creation and branding for businesses, particularly in the luxury and personal brand space. With over a decade of experience in marketing, including 5 years as an agency owner, Madison has worked with over 1,000 businesses to transform their digital presence. Her expertise in visual storytelling and social media content has helped countless brands grow their digital footprint and generate significant returns on advertising spend. And without further ado, here is my interview with Madison. Hi, Madison. Thank you so much for joining the Alpha Female podcast today. I'm really excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So I'd love to just launch into your background. Tell me about how you got started and how you found your way into the social media marketing content space.
So I graduated from Augusta University with a bachelor's in marketing. And at the time I was working for my dad's family business and realized that we were way too much alike and I needed to, go work for somebody else for a period of time, even if that meant that I worked back with the family. Mm-hmm. And I quickly found myself working for one of the best plastic surgeons in Augusta and running all of their marketing efforts, from social media to designing billboards to helping launch a brand new website. And I loved it. And I was there for about 2 years while also I was doing wedding and event planning on the side so that I could generate some extra money. I had my daughter when I was a sophomore in college. So I, quickly realized that I needed to make a good bit of money to be able to support our family and, help my husband support our family. So I basically taught myself how to be a wedding planner.
Wow.
I did that for several years. And I always say two things: if you can work for a plastic surgeon and work for the bridesmaids and the mother of the bride for any wedding, you can literally work for anybody.
So true.
I really felt like my experience in those roles really shaped me into being a stronger leader. And after working for the plastic surgeon for about 2 years, I went on my own and quickly started receiving phone calls from people that wanted help with their marketing.
That's amazing. And I can imagine, working in events and wedding planning, you have to just roll with the punches and go, where the client takes you. And so I can imagine that really trains you to be agile and quick on your feet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every wedding, there's always something that goes unplanned. And it's a matter of hiding it and letting the bride know after the fact. And she'll be like, oh, I had no idea. It's exactly. That's why you hired somebody like me.
Exactly.
And my husband even says, he's like, you thrive in the chaos. And I'm like, I don't know.
And not everybody does.
But I am the oldest of 5 girls. So maybe there is something there when it comes to chaos and being used to that. So.
You're used to being the ringleader of the chaos.
That's right. That's right.
With so many sisters, especially, I'm sure that was a loud house.
Oh, absolutely. And nothing was ever just mine. I had to hide anything, any makeup, any clothing that I didn't want taken. You were constantly on guard of your personal items.
Oh,
to this day, they come to my house to this day and take something that I've worn maybe once or never even worn, and I'll never see it again. So
never see it again. Yeah, I am also guilty of doing the same thing with my sister. Yeah. It's just, it trains you like nothing else.
That's right. And I'm like, maybe they needed it more than I did. I'll just go get another one.
Right. Exactly. So you start out with event planning and working for a plastic surgeon. And so you start doing the marketing business, and you start gaining clients. How did you approach scaling up your business? Because I'm sure that, starting out must have been hard to get your footing. But then once you started, you got to just run with it. So what did that look like for you?
We grew naturally. And before I knew it, I had a small team that worked up under me. For me, getting the clients wasn't the hard part. It was managing expectations and making sure you can deliver on results. And when you're working with a lot of small business owners, they don't have big budgets. And when they
Mm,
are investing money, it is very important for them to see some sort of return. And when you're
right.
doing organic social media, it's harder to be able to measure return on investment because a lot of it's brand awareness and building your presence on social.
Mm,
And, now the only way that you can truly track conversions is if you're running paid advertising. And I would say only to this day, 40% of our clients run paid ads with us. We are still very heavy in the organic content piece because, you have a lot of businesses that are happy with their growth and
right.
they have a very great networking or referral based program, or they just, offer something new that they're wanting to become busier with. So then they'll kind of kick in some paid advertising. But everybody's always overly conscious with growing their page following as fast as they
Mm.
can.
You're right. They want to scale up the viewership, not necessarily have an influx of clients that they may or may not be able to handle with their
Mhm.
current team size. Um, and so you decided to go down this route. Um, and you found a lot of success. And so did you have any growing pains in
Oh,
your
absolutely.
business?
Yes. I would say every big financial milestone our business broke. So,
Wow.
we doubled revenue every year for the first 3 years. Year four, we broke even by the grace of God. And then
Wow.
this year we will have doubled again. And
Amazing.
every big financial marker our business breaks, our systems that we have in place becomes like feels like chaos again. We have to hire more help and we have
Okay.
to readjust. And we're actually in one of those situations as we speak. We scaled up really
Really?
fast in the past 12 months. Like literally before I knew it, I look back, I was like, oh my God, we just doubled our revenue again. And my team's looking at me like with these wide eyes, like, what do we do? And, that's when it seems like clients start calling more and wanting more meetings. And you're like, all right, guys, we're just like trying to put out small fires. And, you don't
Wow.
want to just hire anybody. You want to make sure that you're bringing in key people. Cause I have made that mistake in the past, hiring
Mm,
people just out of like a needing an immediate need and it not being a good fit. And then they get upset. Um,
right.
so we have had a few situations like that. And that's normal when you grow as fast as we have and you become a multi-million dollar agency in 5 years, you're going to
Right.
go through some staff until you find the right
Mhm.
ones. And if I was younger looking into going into the workforce, I would absolutely look for somebody that's like our business because you can
Okay.
grow with them. There's a lot of room for growth.
Right.
I don't have the first person that worked for me when I started the agency, but I will tell you if I did still have that person, she would be making really good money right now.
Okay.
But
If they stuck around.
but she couldn't handle the growth. It was just, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I mean, not everybody's built like entrepreneurs. We're a little crazy.
I mean, you have to be a little delusional to believe
Mhm.
that you're gonna make it, right? And it's that delusion that fuels the fire.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's those delusional people that make it. So, I mean, you
I mean,
you got to
hey,
run with it.
when your payroll is almost 6 figures a month, you have to be a little crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, to sleep at night.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I know you come from an entrepreneurial family. What was it like watching your father growing up, how he handled his business and how, things worked out for him?
There was a lot of things that I was like, "Oh, wow, I love how he did that," and there was a lot of times where he did things that I didn't agree with and that I
Okay.
swore I would do differently. He sells a very high-end product. It's a $2 million product. 20 years ago, it was about a $500,000 product, but that's still a lot of money. And, when you're selling a high-end product like that, you don't have, you know, sales every month or every week for that
Mm,
product. So there's a lot of time that goes by where you're in a lull.
right.
And I think he did a really great job leading his team and managing stress.
So you said that you saw some mistakes he had made. And
Yeah, which I think any young entrepreneur will make mistakes. So being able to see those firsthand made me give myself more grace.
okay. Yeah. And did he advise you at all when you started your company? If so, what did that look like?
So he still advises me to this day.
Okay.
I'll call him and be like, what should I do?
Yeah. I love it. Give me your fatherly advice, please. What's like the best piece of advice you would say you've received from your father to date?
I would probably say, you know, it is definitely lonely at the top.
Okay.
And you feel like there's a lot of people that watch you and that necessarily, I feel like there's a lot of people that could look down on you because you make decisions the way that you do. And
Mm,
at the end of the day, it's all about your family and providing the life you want for your family, and literally nothing else matters. So
right.
keeping your family close to you and supporting one another no matter what, I think is the most important thing that you could do. And he's done a really great job showing me that by giving us a very large family. And to this day, we are super close. And if something happens, we always have each other's back. So we're like a team of cheerleaders for each other.
That's amazing. Oh gosh. And to have so many sisters, I love that you guys are so supportive of one another. You talk a lot about working with family. What would you say are the pros and cons of working with family in business?
Working with family can be extremely rewarding and very hard. I have two sisters that work with me, and then I work with my other two sisters through my dad's company. And,
Okay.
you know, at the end of the day, it's worth it to work with each other because you can get in a fight and then the next minute you're fine. It's just trying to keep it professional in the workplace so that everybody doesn't feel uncomfortable when you're fighting.
Right. Yeah. Sisters fight, but you work it out. But then you throw in business into the mix. It can get a little bit more tricky than, you borrowed my sweater without asking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how what does it look like for you when you guys don't see eye to eye? Do you take a minute and just kind of go talk to them one-on-one, or do you have like a weekly check-in you guys do to make sure you're on the same page? Like, what does that look like?
Usually we have an exchange of words,
Okay.
and then I typically will just kind of walk away and be quiet because
Okay.
we know what buttons to push with each other. And we have a very open, collaborative office space.
Okay.
So when we're having an exchange of words, there's lots of people around and they're kind of watching.
Okay.
So I usually just try to shut it down. But there has been a few times where I get so frustrated that I'm like, okay, we need to go outside. And then I'll
Okay.
later learn that the team like lifted up the window and they like heard us yelling at each other. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I think they kind of enjoy it because it's like a little bit of entertainment.
It's entertaining. It's absolutely entertaining. You're
Um,
seeing, people
yeah,
hash things out.
one of my sisters, I probably have lost count how many times she's quit.
Oh.
But she usually comes back within same day or 24 hours and feels a lot better. So
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, my father has his own business and he works with his mother and sister. And there's definitely some yelling sometimes.
I
Usually it's
can
just down the
imagine.
hall.
Mhm. I can imagine. I usually don't yell, but I
Yeah.
do make some smart comments back, but I probably shouldn't.
I mean, in the moment, you're heated. It gets sometimes out of hand, but you come back to center. You
Mhm.
you you remember, wait a second, we're family. It's gonna be okay. We're
You're
gonna
like,
work
all
through
right.
this.
So, like, what are we gonna go do for lunch now?
Yeah,
Go eat.
exactly. Um, I want to dive into, the process on how you approach when you have new clients. What is your typical approach marketing wise? Is it paid advertising mainly? I mean, I know you said organic content creation, but like typically when a new client comes to you, what's your like pitch to them?
So usually we set up a discovery call. I learn all about their business. where they're at, where they want to be. I let them talk. I do very minimal talking. And then from there, my team creates a strategy. And within
Okay.
that strategy, we put together a plan, and it's usually through organic social. 75% is organic social.
Have you kind of noticed a difference in how you approach things versus, now versus when you started?
Absolutely. We have obviously evolved as we've grown and approach things differently now that we have different social media channels and algorithms have changed. So
Right.
the team does a really great job keeping up with what's trending, what these platforms want to see, and we always pivot to make sure that we're incorporating that.
So take me through like a typical day in the life of Madison Hollimon. Like, what does that look like for you? You get up, what do you do first thing?
So I get up at 5:45.
Oh,
I
we're early.
I get up and I get myself ready. Then I get the kids up when we go to school. I will get to the office. I usually have my breakfast and my coffee in hand, and I take that first hour or two to really just get organized.
Okay.
I'll do admin work. I'll review things. It's like my needle mover time. I'll
Yeah.
look at our projections for the month or our P&L for the quarter. We're going into the last few months of the year, so I have a lot of goals for the next few months and making sure that we're on track. And then
Okay.
I typically go into meetings for about 4 to 5 hours. And between the meetings, I'm meeting and collaborating with the team because we're always working on some sort of project or content.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually stop and pick up my kids from school if I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
And we are running around doing activities, cheer, ballet, everything.
So it turns into chauffeur for, kids to be able to go do their various activities. Do you find you get to have a few hours at night, or do you typically reserve that for like family time because you want to keep things separate?
Usually between 4 and 5:30, I'm on my phone trying to finish up the day
Mm-hmm.
through email, Teams, text calls. Once I get home, it's like I'm clocking in for mom time until
Yeah.
about 8 o'clock. And
Okay.
then I love to take a bath at night, and I will always catch up on my emails during that
Nice.
time. And then usually at around 9 o'clock is when my husband and I can like finally talk about each other's days and like connect. Um, but right now I'm traveling every other week for work and
Wow.
opportunities.
So travel for you, is it just to meet with different clients to have discovery meetings, or is it to like film content? Like, what's the travel component?
So 50% of our travel is for content shoots, and then
Okay.
over 50% is for networking.
Nice.
Mhm.
Very good. Yeah, and you mentioned your husband, and is he part of the business as well?
I always say that he's my silent partner. So if
Okay.
you ever need any financial advice or help in any way, he's always there. But
That's really
usually
nice
just
to have.
a sounding board.
Oh gosh, that is so helpful. And probably for the best that, there's a little bit of separation there.
Well, I'm 4 years younger than him. So when we got married and started the agency, I had no credit and
Okay.
he had really great credit. So
Okay.
I always say like he's my silent partner because I wouldn't have been able to secure a business credit card if it wasn't for him. So
Right.
I have to give him credit.
Yes. For his credit.
Exactly.
Thanks, honey. That's awesome. So, you're doing traveling, you're doing content shoots, networking. Tell me about your referral network. How do you find new clients for Mad Marketing?
So we get a lot of referrals. I'm a big advocate that if we do the best, they'll send us great other business partners.
Okay.
And then when it comes to networking, I'm a part of a couple groups.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for building relationships and
Hmm.
connecting with people that you feel aligned with, and through that, doing business together.
And so are you part of any networking groups that kind of connect you to other business leaders?
Yes, I'm part of one right now, Millionaire Founders Club
Oh,
by
love it.
Donnie, and it's been an amazing group of women.
So for that networking group, is it like regular meetings? Do you have like retreats that you go on?
So we have 2 retreats a year and a monthly connect call. It's really great.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, that I feel like, you did mention earlier that it's lonely at the top, but if you have networks like this, it doesn't feel quite so alone. That's awesome that you have that resource at your disposal. Well, thank you so much, Madison. I love that we got to kind of be taken through the journey from the beginning to where you are now. I hope, listeners got a lot out of our conversation, learning about your journey. We'll just wrap it up with asking, where can people find you?
I would love to have you follow us on Instagram, Mad Marketing House. We share a lot of really great educational and value-filled content.
That's amazing. Well, I'll be sure to link all of the account handles in the show notes. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I think, just will get a lot out of our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Madison as much as I did. If you want to get in touch with her, I've included her contact information in the show notes. If you like this episode, please rate the show 5 stars wherever you listen and be sure to subscribe. Until next time, Alpha Females, take care.